In Cosmerian we have infection because we have affiliations. So tonight is a cosmic show, a cosmic episode of Mr. Alan Super Show. And for this episode, come back of my show to awesome customizer to meet the guests that you know. One of them is Curtis Akerman, and the other is Eric Lebron. So everybody claps your hands, stand up on your seat in your home, and please welcome my guests. Please welcome. So welcome guys to the show. Let's see if I'm able to click in one time. I give it to Epic to guess in one time. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. These are my guests tonight. Welcome, my friends. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Welcome back for the third time. I think Eric is the third time and Curtis is the second time. So basically this channel is also your home now because you're a part of many different shows. So we are ready because the topic I only control, as I mentioned before, during the show, I control also that everything works in not one device, but two, because one is not enough to me. I need two devices to control everything works. Also, to don't be the only one frozen like that, and the other talks are still like that. So something happened in this time. Shout out the people that watch the show. Yesenia, I believe you talk about the Filmation Ghostbuster, but in another language. Michael Casper, welcome.
Casper.
Who said hello? Is there anybody out there? Major Tom to ground control. We are here. And so let's see also if I can zoom in a little bit to see you, because if I enlarge my zooming, I see smaller. Oh, okay. I try to set up everything. Oh, there is also our friends, 1-6 Shooter. Welcome.
Trevor. Yeah,
By
buddy.
the way,
Trevor.
Coming soon will be also let's talk about the channel in a few moments, because the schedule next week will be a mythic episode with the Dorkler, William, Bill, and in 2 weeks will be the 4 million view celebration with many guests, but the guests will be revealed only in few weeks. But there is a super cool episode.
Big congratulations on that too, on the 4 million views. Man, that's an amazing accomplishment. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
it's
awesome.
but to me, because I'm a typical artist that are not satisfied, especially in these days that I lost my other YouTube channel. So every time that I get something, I think it's not enough. I need to do better.
Reach for the stars, baby. Reach for the stars.
Exactly. I watch the sky. The sky is the limit. I need to push myself over the limits every day.
Yep.
Right out there in the Cosmeria.
Yep.
The artists push like that. I push myself in different stuff, and I try to do different stuff, and I try also to have a real life, if I have a real life, because the artists live in imagination every day, and maybe sometimes you lose control with reality. But I don't want to start to become philosophy, because you can say also that the truth is true, but the reality is perception. So sometimes you think something about the reality, but in the truth is another thing. No, sometimes happen. But now to don't put the people that watch tonight to sleep because it told something that's not related. Let's take a closer look of these guys. I go to the better source to watch this wave, because the topic of we know the pre-order still up on the for Horsemen Studio shop. So what is the link? So horsemen.com in the shop, still up the pre-order. So I want to take a closer look of these characters and talk with you, share opinion, and also with you right here, my dear friends in the show, but also the people that watch the show in the chat, because every comment is welcome on the show. So let's take a look. I won't start with my favorite of the wave. So with try to pronounce correct the name. Obviously, shout out to Trevor, the beautiful photos, because there's something that I like in both in Legions in general, that we got with this line. They built a story. They built a story with the storyline. They built a story with the figures. They built a story with the photos also, because you got the vibes of this Cosmerian world. But they built a story also with the beautiful illustration by Nate Burch. So these elements put together something that is difficult to find in other situation today in the toy business, something new, fresh, with a strong storyline. No? Because, for example, Rumble Society, I'm not too much a Mexico guy, I honest with you, but Rumble Society, to me, in my opinion, has a lack of storyline. No, just figures, but the story is really fragile. In Mythic and Cosmic, the story is really strong. And I think as a storyteller, as a writer, is important that when you build something new. But let's take a look of this guy, a gray traditional aliens, Altar Silovius. So the name, because one, I know I'm Italian, so in general my English is really bad, especially pronunciation. Plus these names are crazy, so my pronunciation will be wrong, I think, in any way. But let's take a look of the figure. Let's talk about this figure. I share my opinion in the end. So we start with the guess of. I'll try to understand. Is possible to have a bigger view? No, only like that, because if you can see bigger, the pictures is better. Let's set up better this. Now I think it's better. Looks like. However, let's start to share opinion about this Altar Silovius. So maybe you can help me, guys, to the name. And we start with Eric Lebron. Tell me your opinion about this figure, your vibes, if it's your favorite or not of the way. What do you think about it?
The Altar Silovius figure is an amazing second version of the Greyborn type alien creatures, and I'm completely in love with this figure. I love the Greyborn style of these characters, and love the new head sculpts that this comes with, the painted heads. The addition to this character, the soft goods are just phenomenal. I love the look of the soft goods as opposed to what we're more used to seeing as far as like armor or like pauldrons and stuff like that. To just add these great pieces in such a fashion that it brings this character to life. And yeah, all around, like I said, the sculpts are beautiful. The body pieces are amazing. Obviously, the new pieces that this this is going to come with the new tooling and stuff like that. It's an amazing figure all around, just to take in, and obviously not just as a standalone figure, but for customizers to have new pieces to work with. And yeah, it's just great all around. And I love the on the cape, the gray cape or his cloak that's on him. I love the pattern that it has. It's kind of got like a textured pattern on the back end of it, which is really cool because it's not just like a standard like flat cloth. It's got like a texture and a feel to it. So it's like, I don't know, it's just something that just makes it that much more special, and that's much more cooler to know that we have a figure like this that's and still in a great price range for what you get in an action figure comparatively to anything out there on the market. This figure is just beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, to Eric kind of nailed it there, but obviously that head sculpt has the new paint job on it that's a little bit different from the from the first gray that we saw. I love that paint scheme with the red and the black and blue kind of mixed in. So that creates a really cool look. The forearms are a nice addition to this. It's got the bare forearms. The first gray that we saw had the armored ones. And I know that's something that especially customizers have really been wanting, some bare forearms in all of our figures. So, this one will only, they're a little bit longer than normal forearms. So I don't think they're going to be able to be used on, most figures, but for other grays, we'll be able to use those. So hopefully we see more of that as we continue on throughout Mythic and Cosmic Legions, because I think that's a nice little piece. But yeah, then the soft goods just really all bring it together. So it creates a nice, like, shaman type look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think see, I like this figure because first of all, new head sculpt to me is important that in general, no, because I like the head is like the also in the real life, no, the face is an expression of identity, no. If you are able to me, for example, I'm able when I saw a person, I saw just a picture, I can understand with the face which type of person this person is, no? And that means that because you feel the identity, and it's the same thing is also when we talk about action figure, no? When you sculpt, you design, or when you as a customizer create a head, no? Is to you build the identity, no, of the character, no? It's the same thing. So I like that when we got new head. For example, as a Mythic Legions collector, I have only figure with a different head sculpt. I like that because for my Mythic Legions, I have a project of stop motion, so I built a storyline, and I need everybody have a different head sculpt. So I like that. Because I like also because it's cool, in my opinion, that we have also, like you mentioned before, these soft goods. Recently, I did on this channel, and guys, don't forget to watch that Duban review. And one of the things that blew my mind about this figure was the cape. This cape, you can put the whole figure inside the cape, for example. And once again, with this figure, we can see the texture and everything. You understand that each new wave that you discover in both Legions line, you discover the evolution also of the line. Speaking of the material, the soft goods, the design, the community growing up, but the line growing up as well. So I feel that as an artist, I feel before to see the art growing in this inside this in this line. So I like that, and this figure is super cool also because I like also the previous gray alien, because when you build something, you need also something really iconic, and this is iconic, this gray alien. But inside something iconic, they put something really original. No, this color on the color skin and everything. No, the stuff. So they put something really interesting, and so I think the reason why I like that is because of that. I hope that they use this tooling, especially the body, the body shape, some days also for Mythic. Maybe imagine a goblin, a taller goblin, for example, with this body, So
yeah, some kind of ghoul or something, yeah.
Because I have a big hype about yes, All Star 6, yes, but we know the All Star 6 is like part 2 of Necronominus. No, we know that a little bit. So I expect for this wave skeleton something related with that. But my big hype will be for the next Mythic Legions wave, probably Legions Con, because so far we got a wave related with the four bad guys, the Poxus wave, the Necronominus wave. But this year, what happened? So as a fan of the line, I'm really looking forward to discover what happened for Mythic in the next big wave.
Yeah.
So let's see if will be something with this body as also. I'm curious to understand what happened. All mesh up the line. Speaking of the body parts, so for many reasons, this one, in my opinion, is the best figure of this wave. And I like how they build the storyline to the reveal. No, they build the story also during the reveal. So there is a strong um, effort also in the storyline, also in this wave that maybe is a smaller wave, not a main wave like the first one, but the storyline is still strong, and I like that. No.
Yeah, the stories are amazing. That it builds something for each character for you in this line. It's just amazing writing. I love it.
Yeah. So my pronunciation is almost correct for this guy, Altar Silogus.
Silovius.
Silovius.
Yeah.
Altar
Who knows, man?
Silovius.
Their
Yeah.
names have gotten so weird for some of these that you give it your best guess. That's it.
I'm with you there, Curtis. Give us a Timothy, please.
Yeah.
So let's move for my second favorite is the Sphexian Mind Worker. So let's take a look at the figure, but now I start to share my opinion, and then we go randomly, no? Okay. So this one got my attention also because once again we have something new in the ad, and this is something that I like in general. But also because I like this type of character, no? I remember, for example, that I like the Cavern Dwarf, speaking of mythic, no? I like this character that live in the dark, no? Maybe because I live in the night, or whatever. I like this idea of a Sphexian that that work in the mine, no, is work in the dark. And also I can see this guy also without his wings. So we know that it's possible, I believe, I remember, if I remember correct, that he has also wings, that's right. But I think it works also without, because if you think about the mine, his works, he don't need to fly it, no, in this environment, because he's in a mine, in a cavern, looks like, no. So I like that. I like also the different colors. It's totally different the others. So I like the gimmick, especially also this head sculpt, that I think that with these colors you got the perfect vibes with someone that don't see so much the light and lose maybe his color skin and got new color skin because of his work, his life, no. So I like this character of that because it's like to explore another side of this world, no, because a world, when you build a world as a storyteller, I can say that, no, when you build a world, you build the main world, but inside the main world, there's many little worlds inside, no? So, for example, this guy working the mine so you can start to imagine this mine, this another world, no, underneath the ground where this guy works with many other people. We don't know other creature. So I like that we start to see more little world inside the big world of Cosmerian, no?
Yeah, like little subcultures.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like that. So tell me your opinion. We start with Curtis now.
I like the figure. I think in the bio, it was either in the bio or the blog entry that they did. They explained that there's two types of these. There's the worker that's down in the mine, like doing the drilling, and then there's the ones taking the stuff up to the above the cavern. So those are the ones with the wings. So it explains like you can have it with the wings or without, because there's two different types. So I think that's cool. Like you said, the skin tone on it, being down in the mine, not getting a lot of sunlight, and so you kind of got more of that lack of pigmentation, which is cool. So yeah, really cool story, good look. The base of the armor is really nice for if you want to customize, because it's mostly a black base. So out of all the Sphexians that we've seen so far, this is probably going to be the easiest to kind of customize if you're looking to do that. So I like that part of it as well. And then, like you said, it does have that new head sculpt that it comes with kind of the open mouth, which in the blog they talk about them singing in the mines while they're working. So you can consider that a singing face, or you can consider it like a screaming face. But either way, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Eric, your thoughts about?
Yeah, I think it's a great new like rethinking of the character as far as a race is concerned. Obviously, two of my favorite figures that came out of the first waves of the Cosmic line were the Sphexian guards and the commanders. And I just love the paint schemes on them. I love the character design. I love the whole insectoid kind of body style that they developed for this type of race. Again, what to Curtis's point, I love the two different head sculpts. And as a customizer, this is probably one of my favorites from this wave to look at in a customizing aspect to see a potential for many different repaints over on this blacked out armor and body style. So I love the potential for this character.
Absolutely, yes. I can
Very cool.
wonder for you as a customizer, this guy could be also like a white paper that you can do everything, no? A little
Yeah,
bit.
it's a blank canvas to me. That's how I see it. It's a very, very awesome blank canvas.
Well, and I
Absolutely,
think
yes.
that's the beauty of the whether it's cosmic legions or mythic legions, is that if you want them to have the stories, you've got them fleshed out. There's bios, there's these blog entries, things like that. But if you don't, they're unique enough characters that you can kind of customize them, put a different head on, put a different paint job on, and make your own stories up for these. You know,
Yep.
if you go to a store and buy a Spider-Man figure, you know that that's Spider-Man. You
Right,
know, it's pretty
right.
iconic. You can't
Yep,
just grab a Spider-Man and go, "Oh, this is Batman." Like that
right.
doesn't work.
Doesn't
But
work.
but with these figures, you know, if you want to stick to the storyline they've created, that's great. If you want to create something entirely new, that's a possibility. And I think that's why you see so much creativity and customizing within the community, is because these unique figures allow you to do all this extra stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's true. The line is a big push for creativity. To me, I don't customize the figure because to me, I consider this figure perfect. I don't want to touch this figure, but
Yeah.
I customize the environment. I still work. If you follow the channel, to everybody watch right now, there is a project called a Mythic Religious Castle, and it's not just a dial. It's also a play set. Is a part of big a project could include a role play game with Mythic Legions figure related
Cool.
with my chess game, is also related with the stop motion series. So it's a big push in this way to me.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joe.
Yo, what's up, brother?
So I understand what you mean about that. The push for the creativity to build a story, for example, in my case, or maybe build a castle and stuff. So
Mhm.
let's move to the next guy of the wave. So I need to go back in the. And the next that I want to talk about it is this one of the Mochu tribute. No, so in this case, we start to talk about the first of us that we start to talk about this guy will be Eric.
What guy are we seeing? Your pictures aren't up on the screen.
Yes, sorry,
Oh, okay,
man.
okay. Operative 83, yeah. Well, I mean, personally, I absolutely love this character. I mean, I'm a huge Motu fan, and I always love the Motu homages that they do to just for the love of this the series and the line. I just love it. Every time they put one out, it's just, I mean, it's just great. It just, the colors and everything, and seeing this character painted in this fashion is, I mean, it's something that I probably would have never thought of until I seen it this way, and it's just like, oh man, it just works so great. And it's a beautiful design, and it's awesome that they offered it with the three different heads to give him that Manny Faces kind of look. And yeah, it's just all around a great figure. Again, too, I mean, it's one of those figures too that uh, outside, even if you're not a Motu fan, I mean, I think it's just a great figure altogether that'll work inside the line of Cosmerium and in the world of Cosmic Legions. But I mean, you look at it, and it's like I said, it's a great opportunity, even if you bought the fig, just to completely overdo it yourself to whatever color scheme or character you want to build it in. I mean, like I said, each and every one of these characters, I just see potential. And like I said, this is a beautiful character. I just love the way that they did the color scheme just almost perfect. It's great.
Absolutely. I finding a way to see a little bit bigger the figure, because maybe I have a gallery somewhere, but let's see the comments by Joe. Manyface was my first mochi figure. I'm all about this guy.
Yep, absolutely. It's awesome.
Curtis?
I think they absolutely nailed this tribute. I think this is the best tribute figure that they've done. As soon as I saw this, I was like, that's the best Manny Faces figure I've seen in any line. And I know it's supposed to just be a tribute. It's not supposed to be kind of a, exact figure, but it looks so good that it's the best Manny Faces I've seen.
Agreed.
I love the way that they painted those parts. Like I've got a test shot of the Sentry, and I've seen those parts a million times because I've been playing with that thing for a month now. And, I bought like the dozen of the Sentries and stuff, but I never looked at that body and said, oh, well, if you paint this part blue and paint this part orange, this would look like Manny Face. But as soon as they get that paint job done, it's like, how did I not see that? Like
exactly.
It looks like it was made specifically for this figure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely love this. It's my favorite tribute out of all the Motu tributes they've done.
And now I try to explain my point of view, because I'm a Motu fan. But for example, I don't got everything about Motu. I am a big fan of the Club Grayskull line that is no longer. I am a big fan of the William Stahl collection. By the way, William Stahl was in my show 2 times. Great artist, great person. But I don't collect, for example, Masterverse. Because to me, double joints in Motu, I don't know. It's not, to me, double joints articulation is not for Motu. I prefer the classics, especially Club Grayskull, because I'm a Filmation guy. I like all Filmation show. I like when you got cartoon accurate figures. But because of that, because I like Motu, I don't collect something that is inspired from Motu. So probably the Motu homage figure are my least favorite in general, because I don't need this figure. Because I have Motu, I prefer Mythic when it's Mythic, or Cosmic when it's Cosmic. But beside that, this figure, probably I'm agree with you, Curtis, that is the best Motu homage that they did. Also, it's interesting we got this ad before Vorgus Vermilius, because it's a vampire ad. Is interesting that. So I like how they put together this power configure, because they choose the perfect pieces to build this homage to Many Faces. So because of that, I like that. I like the design, the idea to build this. But probably it's not for me, because I don't collect the Motu homage figure. I prefer collect something that is just Mythic, for example.
That's fair. That's fair.
So this is my opinion. So,
no, absolutely.
Besides that, absolutely, I think it's the best Motu homage figure, and they put together something that is more than standard figure, because you got many stuff with this figure. You got 3 ads, you got accessories, so it's really cool. Speaking of as a figures, no questions.
Yeah, I mean, you're not alone in that opinion. I know even like hardcore Motu guys that came into the Mythic Legion line because of the Motu tributes. I know a lot of them still say that the Motu tributes are their least favorite out of them. It's just they do kind of stand out and stuff like that. And typically I'm on board with that. Like I have all the Motu tributes, but they're not my favorites. This one though is something different. Like this one, like I said, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the best Manny Face I ever saw. And so yeah, I absolutely love this figure. I would have this as my favorite, but there's one that I like a little bit more in this wave. So
For example, I don't start to collect Mythic Legion because of the power configures.
Hmm.
Uh, but before to become a collector, I knew only that, the power
Hmm.
contribute. Only after my first interview with CB, I remember this is a story that I told so many times in the show when I do show for about Mythic. After interview with CB, I had a dream that night, and that dream I had a lot of Mythic Legions figures. The day later, I wake up, I go to the Sir Horsemen, I totally fall in love because I fall in love with Mythic because I'm a fantasy guy, you know. So I like play with HeroQuest. I'm a Lord of the Ring fans. So because of that, I saw, wow, looks like to have a huge version of the small HeroQuest miniature. So you can do something really cool. And because of that, I try to find the old figures. I spend a lot of money to find the old ones. But because I pick each character that I want in this project, no. And my first ever figure, Mythic Legions, was Kim Brondon,
Mm,
that I still love so much
That's a good
today.
one.
yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful. But now let's move to the next one. I control to be also in line with the screen to don't do the same thing I did before. So let's see. So the female character, no, yes. The name, try to read the name, Kalian Shun,
Hmm.
probably.
Yep.
So we start with Curtis this time.
I love this figure. I know there was some when it first was shown. I saw some people complaining about, she's got an armored arm that's from Mythic Legions. She's got a bare arm that's from Mythic Legions, a torso that's from Mythic Legions. So a lot of parts reuse on this. But the soft goods, the belt thing across the chest, the helmet, the staff, the gun, like this is a total bounty hunter look. And I just love it. I think this figure is great. I will probably display her with the unhelmeted head, but holding the helmet because I love that helmet.
Yeah.
That unhelmeted head is painted so beautifully as well. It's like I want both of them on display. Um, but yeah, this is a great figure. The soft goods look amazing. So I absolutely love this, and I'm okay with parts reuse as long as you use it in a way and paint it in a way that it looks amazing, and that's what this is.
Yeah, and the name is what is the correct pronunciation? So English lesson by Curtis to Mr.
I
Alan.
I would say it is Kalian Shun, but
Oh,
I could
I
be
was
wrong.
almost right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaylee and Shun. Yeah.
So now let's move to Eric.
Yeah, I love it. I always love seeing a strong female type character that's got such a great, to me, I think it's such a great use of parts. I mean, I know there's a reuse of a couple parts from Mythics, but I think it just works so well, and to her storyline, it's almost like the single shoulder pauldron that she carries with her. It's almost like she comes from a world of like an old like an old warrior race where she's probably seen battles in many different types of worlds. So where she's kind of piecemealed her armor from, it's kind of like her story, like her backstory. Again, to Curtis's point, her head sculpt, the unhelmeted head sculpt, is painted beautifully. I love the red and blue contrast they use with the soft goods. All around, like I said, I think she's a fabulous figure, and like I said, it's just one of the it's definitely one of the top favorites in my opinion of the wave. It's just a great figure all around. I love it.
Okay, now it's time for my opinion. So I can consider this figure in two different ways in myself. Also because maybe because my astrologic signs is Gemini, so I split myself in two different point of view. For one point of view, if you read the story, if you watch the figures overhaul, and you don't think about meat, you don't think that the ad was the same. I believe if I'm right, I believe it was the witch of the Poxus Wave. They called it Trace. Trace was that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One that I already pre-ordered, by the way. Oh, let's shout out for a solid fan of the channel, Blackstar 2.
Blade,
Welcome
what's
to the
up,
show.
brother?
What's going on?
He's a solid fan of my channel, so thank you, Blade, to enjoy with us the show. And thank you to all of you guys. Don't forget to hit notification bell and subscribe for more episode reviews. If you miss a day, you can find my new stop motion, Mythic Legion stop motion with Duban as a protagonist of that episode. But absolutely, I have two mythic guests, Blade, tonight. I should say guests with the final S, because plural in English, you need the final S. Back on track. And so, overall, if you consider the story, if you watch the figure, if you don't know which part are put together in the figures, it's a great figure because looking good soft goods, is everything is put together perfect to follow the story. But because, for example, I looking for the witch, I call it witch, but maybe it's more than a witch. But the I call witch to be more simple because I don't remember the actual name, guys. I know this trace something. However, I put that bad girl on the Poxus Wave. I'm not interested in this figure because we have the same head, for example, and maybe these parts of the body look so mythic, to me. So I don't know. If I watch by this side, I can say I don't know if you want this figure because I feel that because there is the same head of another character, and in general, I'm not interested of that, and also because maybe there's too much mythic part in this figure to me. Obviously, it's just my opinion.
No, I get what you're saying. I mean, to me, the paint job is different enough that I can I don't immediately recognize it as the same head. I know it is, but I think they did a good enough job with the paint job that I'm okay with it being the same sculpt. But I can see what you're saying completely. So,
Blade, if you want, get them. You can go to the Horsemen.com and go to the shop. Especially if you live in US. I think if you live in US, pre-order from the studio is the better way to get your figures earlier and fast. If you are overseas, I try to do that, to pre-order from the studio, to do both, for example, for All Star. But I discovered that to do review, you got to lay the figure. So it's the same. And because you need to pay not only the shipment, but also the customer. So because if you are overseas, you need to pay not only the shipment, or after they ship, you got the figure, you need to pay also the courier because you have more to pay because you're overseas. So in the end of the day, to me, it's better go to my retailer in Germany because I got, for example, this week, I saw the tracking, other figures from the All-Star, just a little bit later than from the studio. So to me, as a reviewer, it doesn't work also as a money because of the taxes, this stuff. That's right, Joe. I'm agree with you. So let's move to the
some
next
of the
one.
retailers too. I know Blade was saying kind of short on cash. A lot of the retailers won't make you pay until they come in too. So that's another way.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
Yeah.
cheaper if you order directly from the studio. But if you're short on cash, there's a lot of retailers that you can place your order and they don't actually charge you until they're ready to ship. So that's a good option.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
true. But I think, however, if you live in US, in my opinion, the better way is the studio because you save money. But if
Unless
you
you're
live
on the East Coast and you go to a lot of shows, then you can just pick them up at a show for a good price.
Yeah.
Those East Coast folks got it easy.
Yeah.
But however, I think the US is the better way to the studio. If you are overseas like me, I experiment both way, but in the end of the day, I need to go to my retailer because if I can get the figure really earlier, it's good. But as a reviewer, if you are not the first, so is you have problem with you, so I think I prefer to go to the retailer also because I save money because of the problem, because it's not only shipment, but also if you got something overseas, you need to pay more when you got the figure, when the guy ring your
Yeah,
your
if you're
home.
not first, you're last. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, I could see her as a Kree. I mean, with
Yeah.
that blue skin. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's move to the next character of the wave. So I picked. We still only two still to come. I picked this one. This is really beautiful. Especially I like the paint job on this one. But I won't start with Eric this time to talk about this pilot.
Definitely my favorite of the wave. This is just like I said, the paint job is just amazing on this figure, and I just like I said, I love it all around. The parts use in this, and the tubes that are coming, from the body into like the helmet system. Yeah, I just like I said, I love the storyline behind the whole red pilot story that they have, and it's just an amazing figure. And beyond like I said, the great paint job behind it, it's just I love the body design, and I love, like I said, the potential for different schemes or different paint applications that could be added to this figure to, like I said, make it unique to each individual as they see it fit to their storyline or character design. But yeah, this figure itself is a definite winner, and I can definitely see this becoming a great like an army builder type character for people's collections where they have multiples of these. And yeah, it's awesome. Looking at this figure too, and knowing that he's a pilot of whatever you know Air Force or Space Force that he's a part of. It's kind of cool to imagine in a diorama aspect where people might build, like, for, like, let's say a diorama shot, maybe some kind of like cockpit for this guy to be sitting in, almost like where he's in flight in some kind of space battle or something like that, to for toy photography or whatever. So outside of the realm of like what we're used to in, let's say, mythics, where it's like a lot of like castles and drawbridges and dungeons, or archways and stuff like that, where these people you would normally feel that they would be involved in. This guy, I mean, I definitely would love to see this guy shot in some type of like a cockpit or something, where and I'd love to see the thought process and the creativity coming from like our many very talented diorama makers, to see what they can do for this particular character. But yeah, he's just a beautiful character.
Absolutely. Curtis, what do you think about it?
This is my favorite of the wave. I'm a sucker for all the Tusk figures. So the Sentry, Science Officer, Engineer, and now this one. As a customizer, these are the ones that because they're not really named characters, they're a lot easier to kind of envision how you would customize these things. Simple, some paint on a trim or things like that to change it up just a little bit. Maybe like a rank logo or something. So yeah, I absolutely love this. These I consider the Tusk kind of like the stormtroopers of this universe. You got all the different. You got your biker scouts, and you got your hooded ones that are on Hoth, and you got all the different styles of stormtroopers, and these are kind of that same way. So this definitely didn't disappoint. I love the genericness of it in terms of it's not a named character, and you can make it whoever you want inside of there. But I also love the paint job, the metallic red. Looks like a brand new Corvette or something. Like this thing is just,
it's beautiful.
It is flashy. And I love that idea that LeBron was just talking about, as far as like putting in like a cockpit dio or something like that would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
that's go ahead.
This is the only one that I've ordered
continue,
extras of. And, same thing with the other Tusk and the other waves. Like I typically get an all in, and then I find something that I want extras of. And this is the guy.
So
Yeah, definitely too. When I first took a look at this figure, even before this figure was released, thinking about Cosmerium from the aspect of a customizing standpoint, looking at what we've done so far in like the Mythic Legions, where it's a lot of like dry brushing, hard like rust colors or metallics, like really worn metallics. I was thinking in the lines when they were talking about the release of the Cosmic Legions line, how it would change our outlook on our paint schemes for our characters. And what I was thinking was a lot more of like the vac metal or very shiny, different, like way out of the bounds, styles of colors of like metallics and things like that. And this is it, just completely like perfection in color style. I mean, it just like he says, it's like looking at a brand new Corvette. It's just that beautiful red. It's just an amazing thing to look at, and it's like I said, so it gives you the idea of like what the possibilities could probably be for a character like this in any types of colors, greens, blues, purples. I mean, there's so many things that I'm already looking at a figure like this and going, okay, if that looks that good in red, what might it look like in different colors, schemes? So yeah, it's just like I said, it's amazing.
yeah, the color is beautiful. In my
Yeah,
opinion,
beautiful.
for example, in general, I mentioned before that I'm not super fan of figure with the same head, but this is something different because
Yeah,
this is an helmet, and an helmet we have also an helmeted head, but in general, you display maybe you think to display this figure with the helmet because you think about the space. You need the helmet also to breathe, no?
yeah,
So because of that, I think is I don't care if they use some parts because they make you need to make a difference in this case just with the color. You made the difference between a type of tasks in the others. No, the color uh, explain what is their role in the troop. No, in
hmm
this. So because of that, I like the figure. I like the color, especially this. And by the way, Corvette is Corvette also in Italian
Oh, there you go.
yeah, nice.
because I believe this is a French name actually. Corvette, but I'm not sure about it.
Or
So
maybe it could be like looking at a beautiful red Ferrari.
There
Ferrari,
you
that's
go.
right. But the Ferrari is a little bit lighter. It's more a
Yeah,
Corvette
yeah,
because this is a little bit a red, but more close with a darker red than the Ferrari is more like this type, no?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
But it looks like the same in the screen, but it's different actually, because
yeah.
maybe the camera. So I like the figures. I like because also because open your thinking about something in the line. We don't know what we will be in the line in the future if the line going well, but maybe start to think about some starship because a pilot need to drive in something, no?
Hmm.
Yeah.
You can think about that, no?
hmm
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
could be cool, should be cool. Maybe someday in the future to have in the line some vehicle also, especially for the Cosmic Legions. Billy Beige Custom,
Yep.
welcome.
Billy Beige.
Really beige, baby.
And Joe says, can't wait for someone to pay flames on ink.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
There you
will
go.
say I did order one extra of him just to make an Iron Man custom because that
Nice.
Oh,
that
yeah,
one
yeah.
shot where he's got the torso part off and he's just got the circle in the middle. I'm like, yeah, that's Iron Man.
I like
Yeah.
how you guys watch the new figures and start to thinking about new project as a customizer, no?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I get the first I take in the first shot and go, okay, I like the figures, and right away I'm already like
right.
piecing them apart and like, okay, I'll take that guy's helmet off and I'll use it for this character. And
Yep.
yeah,
I got an extra Magnus. I'm like, all right, some Magnus gold, some of
yeah,
this red, put that
yeah,
together, Iron Man.
yeah,
Boom.
yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
Yes. So also Blade love the figures. That's awesome.
This was if you go back to the pictures of that figure, this was something that I as soon as I saw the figure, go scroll through the pictures. That picture right there. When I saw that picture, outside of the so-called character development that he's actually a pilot, when I saw this picture, I almost thought of like a if there was a part of the world in Cosmerium where there was water or some kind of like water planet.
Like scuba stuff.
I thought of like a diver suit and
Mhm.
and maybe almost getting someone to maybe 3D print me some like diving fins to put on my character's feet, as opposed to his normal feet, and put him in like a diving situation where he's like an underwater diver, maybe with like some kind of like a cosmic spear gun, I guess you would say. And I don't know, it just like I saw it, and with the hoses and stuff going into it looked like a cool diving suit to me. Like it just, I don't know, that's what I got from it. So like I said, outside of the realm of what this character is based on, like I said, as a customizer, I'm looking at it all. I look at each one of these as so many different ways of I can make him into my own version of like what I see him as. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
So let's move to the last one of the wave. Let's see if I find the pictures before. I believe the name is
Scuba Steve. I love it, bro. Scuba Steve.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see if I can. But if I zoom in too much, the guy become too big for the screen. So I believe the name of this one is Scourge. I
Yeah,
believe
Scourge. Yep.
Scourge. I love your accent is perfect. So I'm so jealous of your perfect American accent. And I listen many stuff in English because I watch something in English on YouTube. I watch movies sometimes or cartoon. I watch in English to have a better English, but my accent still really bad. Well,
Well, it's better than my Italian, I'll tell you that much.
do you have an off-topic question? Do you ever visit Italy, guys?
No, not yet.
If
No.
you will, ring the bell.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about. I start me because maybe I will be a little bit controversial on this one, but I won't start. I won't put my fair opinion about it. So this is my least favorite. I tell you why. Because once again, if you watch the figure overall, no, you forgot the PC, you forgot Kragna, you forgot Arakagor, you can say, wow, this figure is beautiful, it's wonderful, no? Because it's a cool, super cool design. No? You got this freaking monster, no, that looks like a dragon. But we knows that some body parts, especially the alternative head, the upper body, the parts. Not the I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't recall if Kragna has a tail right now. But in general, we knows that this body comes before from Kragnar and later from Arakagor. No, if you consider the reveals, no, about the lines. But to me is also the weapon, these gauntlets, the belts, it's too mythic to me to be cosmic. Also, if we had the Krakener head, so because one is that if I can say problem, so it's too mythic because the also the weapon. Remember, to me too much the ogre weapon. No, there's something that is too mythic to me to be cosmic, and also at the same time, also I understand the body part comes first from Kragnar. In the same time, is all because Arakagor is so special. If you collect mythic legions, Kragnar is so special, unique as a figure, is beautiful. this one is too similar to me, also as well. And also because it's a PowerCon exclusive, but I said that before what I think about it. So this one is my least favorite because these elements. But if I don't think about Arakagor, I don't think about Ragnar, the figure is beautiful. Speaking of the design of overall figure. So this is my opinion because of this. Yeah. Trevor. Uh, if reuse of parts is no, it's not a problem to reuse the parts. As I mentioned before, it's not a problem to. In general, I want figure with different head, but it's not a problem to reuse a part in general. To me, it's okay to reuse the parts, but in this case, it looks like too mythic in my vision. But maybe I'm wrong. It's just my opinion. So let's see your opinion, guys, about it. We
Who's
start
starting?
with Curtis.
For the most part, I agree with you on this. Especially that first look with the, it's basically a Rakagor with a new paint job. And my problem with that is that one is a character in Mythic Legions, and this is a character in Cosmic Legions. So these are two different worlds, two different races, and yet they look exactly the same all the way up to the head sculpt. So, I mean, obviously there's some different armor pieces, but for the most part, it's not just one reused part or a couple of reused parts in different orders. It's basically the same figure. Now, the other one with the alternate head, I think looks better. I think that one is a better fit for Cosmic Legions because it's kind of got that Kragnar looking head, and now you've got the different parts mixed in. So that one to me looks a little bit better. But I'm also kind of biased on this one because it is a Whiplash tribute, and I've got, just some personal history. Like when I was a kid, I was a huge Motu guy, and I had this friend named Pablo that would come over and we would play with our Motu, and he had every figure in the line. He had Eternia, he had everything except for Whiplash. His mom would not let him get Whiplash because they had moved up from Florida, and his dad was like a city worker, and they would send him down in the sewers to like whenever there was blockages in the sewers and stuff, and he lost his hand. He got it bit off by an alligator.
Oh, man.
And so she wouldn't let him get the Whiplash figure because it was too reminded her too much of that. And it caused such a divide in their marriage. They slept, he slept in the basement, she slept upstairs, and they ended up getting divorced, and Pablo moved away. And before he moved away, he took my Whiplash figure. He stole it. And I thought we were really good friends.
What
and
a story.
Yeah,
You
Pablo
thought.
ran off with my Whiplash figure. So wherever you're at, Pablo, I remember, and I hope your mom caught it in your room and you got in trouble. So yeah. But yeah, so I got a little PTSD when it comes to this one, I guess.
Eric?
I'm on the fence on two respects for this character. One side of it, I love it as the Motu tribute to Whiplash. I love the fact that they did an ogre size or an oversized character for the Whiplash character, because I could imagine him being in stature a bigger figure to most of the other characters. I like the paint scheme. I like the parts use. I know it's a reuse of almost a complete reuse and repaint of the figure itself. I do enjoy the duoderm head that they used as opposed to the dragon scale or the dragonborn head.
Yep.
Where I believe it fits more into the cosmic line. One part of these two characters, the Motu tribute characters, that I kind of don't agree with. I mean, I know it works, but I don't agree with it as much because it's kind of like the first time that they've utilized these characters as part of the story in Cosmic Legions, where they haven't really done that with the Motu tributes as much, in Mythics. So it's kind of hard to separate them when they're already part of the storyline. Whereas I like buying the tribute figures and keeping them in a separate collection and display as Motu tribute figures. So I don't necessarily see myself trying to work in these two characters as much into the Cosmic Legions kind of display that I'm trying to, bring together. One other thing that I really kind of was in disagreement with this release was the choice of weapons, the reuse of kind of like the half trident and the bladed weapon. That weapon in particular, I don't know, I just really didn't care for the combination. And I know that in the storyline, Scourge carries a mace, and they did give him a mace, but it's the mace that we've all seen and used many times over with the ogre scale figures. I was hoping that this particular character, had he, that he was told in the story that he carried some kind of mace weapon, that it would be something completely, different or more, space vibe looking, as far as like a maced weapon, not your standard, mythic style mace. I just didn't, like I said, I didn't agree with that at all. But like I said, overall, I enjoy the figure. I think it's a great paint scheme. I mean, like I said, I think also too, it gives people an opportunity to do a repaint to whatever they feel is necessary for them. I mean, they can make it a red dragon, they can make it a brown dragon. I think it works more in the lines of a different, dragonborn character that would work more in mythics than it would in cosmic. I mean, this is the one that I think works the least in the cosmic like spectrum as far as characters are concerned. But as like I said, as a Motu tribute to that specific character, I think it's a win.
Yeah. I think as a Motu tribute, they pick the right parts not to put together this character, because is you imagine the immediately whiplash, no. But as I mentioned before, I think that about the figure, about the Motu homage, so because of that is my least favorite. But overall, I'm agree also about overall in the conversation in general about this figure. I'm agree about you what you said before a few moments ago, that you can consider to put the power configures in a separate collection and relate them with the cosmic or mythic, no. But
Yeah,
maybe it could be also an idea, put a line like we have figura obscura, cosmic and mythic. Another line is only power configure, no, like that.
right, yeah. Yeah, like I don't display like my Father Christmas or my Headless Horseman with my other like factions in the mythic lines. Whipped for Curtis.
I think it's time to put a meme with
Oh, God.
Curtis and the Whiplash figures.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, but like I said, I keep those specific figures separate from my actual mythics figures. It's like I don't know. I have separate displays for them where I have my standard figures. I have a separate display for my customized figures, and like I said, one for where I keep where my Motu tribute figures are and my Figura Obscura figures. So it's just like I said, but to each his own. I mean, like I said, if it works for you, it works for you. I see it more as a, I don't know. Like I said, I don't necessarily know. I mean, I might be mistaken, but this might be the first time that they've actually written um, the Motu tribute characters into the storyline of something that's actually part of like cosmic or mythics. I mean, am I mistaken in that, or are some of the Motu tributes part of the store of the actual canon for mythics? I mean, I know maybe one or two of them are, but I could have
They
sworn that they try to keep it separate.
they still have bios and stuff, but they're not considered like main characters or ones that are they're not connected to that universe. So like in the book that Jeremy's writing and stuff, he said that they wouldn't show up in there, but they do have bios and that kind of backstory to it.
Right. So. But these two characters are absolutely in the storyline.
Oh yeah, in the blog that they did.
So yeah, so that's where I was kind of like, oh, that's a different approach to it, because obviously, like I said, they have a twofold part to themselves, where one is they're the Motu tribute figures, and now they're also part of this storyline. So it's kind of like, it's weird to imagine trying to, you know, mesh the two worlds together without being like, oh, well, that's, you know, that's Manny Faces, what is he doing in Cosmarium kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because I see that character not as Operative 83, I see it as a Motu tribute to Manny Faces, and that's like I said, that's kind of how I want to keep it, you know, with that, like, and I don't think, to me, as far, I mean, that's my personal opinion, I don't think I'll lose anything in my, you know, my display to my Cosmic Legions, that if I don't have that character as part of the thing, where I can keep him separate and still, like, you know, people will understand the gist of the storyline, like, where they won't like think like, well, you don't have Operative 83 and part of this storyline, so it doesn't make any sense, kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you can build a big cage, and inside this cage you put only the Motu figure and say to them, don't go anywhere, you stay only right here.
yeah
In the cage of the Motu figures.
Yeah, stay in your own world. You already have your own world, so yeah.
So this is a general question. You are more mythic or cosmic? And tell me also why.
Who first?
You can, the start first.
Okay. I will say I've always been more sword and sorcery mythic. But the more that we're seeing cosmic, the more that we're getting reveals, I'm getting really excited for it, to the point where I've started to look at my collecting space and to try to see, okay, where can I crunch down some mythic legions, whether it's getting rid of some or combining some factions or something, so that I can create some more room for cosmic. So I'm getting pretty excited. I would say right now I would lean more towards cosmic, which is surprising. I didn't think I'd say that.
Eric?
Myself, I'm pretty much sitting on the fence line. I grew up, you know, I mean, as a fan of you know, things like Conan the Barbarian, Clash of the Titans, Sinbad the Sailor. I mean, obviously, I was brought up in a world of like the sword and sorcery, sword and sandals kind of thing. So I really love that aspect of it, and Mythics has been the first thing that I've been so drawn to, where I can creatively, you know, put my touch and my feel on where I think what the characters should look like, and the different, you know, ways I can make custom figures. But also on the other side of that, I grew up a Star Wars kid, and I love the whole space realm and the different characters and all the different, you know, types of races that there are, you know, beyond the stars. And I love the fact that, you know, like, we're getting all these new storylines. So I love the cosmic thing, but to me, as a customizer, I lean more towards the mythics, because I feel like I have more of an eye of what I can do, you know, visually and artistically on those types of characters, as to oppose what they're doing with mythics. Because I look at the mythics character or the cosmic characters, and some of these characters are just absolute perfection. And it's like, even as a customizer, I look at them and I'm like, I don't even know what I could do to make this character any better. It's just so good. It's just so beautiful. And like, I just love what they're doing. I mean, I like the fact that we're getting certain character types like the sentries, where they're just kind of like a standard white or gray body, which is a great, you know, palette for me to work on. And so that it gives me a chance to try something new. But outside of that, like I said, mythics is more, I lean more towards mythics, because it's just, like I said, it's more that rustic metal and armor and stuff like that I think is just, like I said, has so much potential for so many different ways to translate it with paint. You know what I mean?
I would say wait till you start getting these in hand because
Yeah.
because
I know. I talk now. I
you know
talk a
there's
big game now. I know.
yeah there's some colors that you're going to be able to use that maybe you can't really use with mythics. There's going to be some things that you can do,
absolutely.
like you can take a guy and put a robotic arm on him and put him on a horse that has a dragonborn head and just be like, well, they're aliens, like you can do whatever, you know. So some of the rules that we play by in the mythic customizing world are out the window when it comes to cosmic. So
especially with the colors, the colors thing is where I'm really, like I said, I'm researching deep into like different types of like metallics and a lot of these like color shift paints and stuff like that, where I'm just like, oh man, where I would have never used that on what's up, Eric, on you know, mythics. Now I'm like, yeah, now the door's open and I could try something really wild on something, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're definitely right about that. But yeah, I still, like I said, my heart's definitely in the mythics realm, because like I said, I just love the armors and the different, you know, like I said, stuff like that. It's just so cool, man.
Yeah.
A shout out to Eric Miller because was scheduled also in the show, but he has something to do tonight. So I will do other show for when will come some new waves with customizers. So will be another show with you, with Emily, with Emily. Come on, custom Eric. Sorry.
Yeah.
I need to know what a cubing competition is. I don't know. Anybody ever heard of a cubing competition?
Yeah. I don't know what
I don't know what that is. I need more, Eric.
For me, my opinion is that. So when I want to start with that. When I saw the first wave of Cosmic Legions, that blew my mind. Especially Slug, Kraken, the Zaxxius, these characters was
Rubik's
super
cubes.
cool. But obviously, in the same times, I am not a rich guy, so I need to balance my money and decide where I can put my money, you know, for my collection, because I haven't the money to buy everything. And because so I was not easy make a choices at that time, because my choice at the time was, or as I stop to mythic because I haven't the money to purchase everything, no. So I need to stop, or I stop with mythic, or I start with cosmic, or I continue to mythic and expand my collection, no. So I wasn't not choices at the time, because the first wave was something really was super. Especially Slug is my favorite, absolutely, the big guy. But also Kragner, also those factions. So it wasn't easy. But if I watch if I think about myself, I remember another situation similar when I was a kid, was to pick only one board game. One was Star Quest, and the other was Hero Quest. And at the time, I picked Hero Quest. So the reason why I stay in Mythic, but because I like sci-fi. I love Star Wars, but not like I like Lord of the Rings, Conan the Barbarian, and every fantasy movie with orcs, with goblin, wizards. No, so because I'm more fantasy, I move to mythic. But I think if I can have more money, I will can buy the all cosmic. But I need to put some choices sometimes. Only so is the reason why I'm more I'm more fantasy than sci-fi. But I love also cosmic because the figure are awesome. Especially the wave number 1 and number 2. Awesome figure design. So, but now I can't. I don't know what happen in the future. Maybe I will be. I got some success with some project that I have as an artist, and maybe it can change. I can find a way to restart also the collection of Cosmic, because I love the figures. But you need to put some choices. However, the cubing is a
Rubik's cubing. Yeah, that's cool.
It's the cube that you move, no? If you Yes, because we call Rubik cube also in Italian. Cubo di Rubik in Italian, but it's the same.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know, like with Mythic Legions, I mean, everybody kind of has the same story with Mythic Legions, that once you get that figure in your hand and you see what they can do, it like opens up a whole new world. Like it's different. You like seeing them online, seeing pictures is one thing, but when you get it in your hand, it's totally different. And my feeling is that Cosmic is going to be the same for us. Like we're going to get those in hand, and all of a sudden, especially the creative customizing community is going to go, oh yeah, let me do this, this, and that, and like it's going to open up a whole new world of ideas. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm really interested for those at least the first wave to get out, so that we can start seeing what people are going to do with these things.
Yeah, and creatively, I think the 3D printing artists and community is just going to go wild with these things. I mean, with the attachment parts, especially with the portals that are inside of some of the armor parts, and or just different alien race or helmeted type head styles for these characters. Yeah, it's going to be beyond belief. I mean, and that's going to make it even that much cooler. I mean, it's going to be great.
Yep.
Yes, I'm looking forward also to see what happened in this community about customizing, because you did everything with Mythic. Let's see what happened now with these new parts, with the Cosmics, and because you created also as a customizer new character as well with your creativity, So I want to see what will happen for Curtis and for Eric about it, with your when you put your hands in this figure. I'm sure that when you got the figures in your hands, they will blow your mind. And it's sure that we saw maybe the other guys that share pictures on the Cabal with their figures. I will be so jealous. But the only reason why I can collect Cosmic is only money, because I decide for my life that I made this art with maybe not an art, maybe crazy, maybe. So this choice to work only with my art. And sometimes when I work on TV, when I was the opera famous artist, I got good money. So it's up and down the life of an artist. If you refuse to do another job, sometimes you are doing well, sometimes you need to balance. If you're a connector, you need to stop yourself a little bit. So if you want Mythic, you can have only Mythic now, because you have enough money to have also Cosmic. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, who knows? But when you get the Cosmic in your hand, Mr. Allen, maybe we'll get a Cosmic song too to go with our Mythic song.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we can try to do some, because tonight we can sing a Mythic Legion song because we are the Cosmic. So let's see. There is another coming soon. Will be something about song. I can tell you more about now, because it's still a secret so far. But there is something in progress. Speaking of song.
Yeah,
that is another big surprise. And I'm proud about what I did with the Mythic Legion song with my dear close friend Shartimus Prime, because he is an awesome drummer, Ras, and we did the song together. It was a super cool experience to do that together. So let's see what is next. Also, speaking of song, but is next on this channel more about the Mythic Legion's caster, so will be more episode. And more reviews also. I say that to everybody watching right now. So don't forget to hit notification bell, because something is coming more for the. And the reason why I start the castle, because I love the line, and I need also to build something also for my stop motion series, but also to do something for the community, because it's not just something that I do for myself. Because if you watch this video, they are all basically also a tutorial, no? And I did that from zero, from nothing, because I never did something similar in my life to build not just a die as a play set, to work with foam. It was something totally that I didn't know at the time if I was able to do that. I remember when I started, I talked with Dennis Derby. And so, Dennis, you think I can do that? Come on, Billy. He's a good guy, Shartimus. He's an awesome friend, dear friend of mine.
So, Mr. Allen, when you were talking about financially not being able to do both Mythics and Cosmic, are you not are you not pre-ordering any of the cosmic lines, or you're just
No,
kind of cherry picking and getting a couple figures and not getting the
no,
whole wave?
any, because I need money to pre-order a Poxus
Right,
Wave,
right.
and
No,
then
I understand. No, that's totally understandable. Yeah. I mean, I myself have had this year especially, we've had a very tough financial year here at home, and I've had to pretty much, cut all my pre-orders that I would have potentially made this year for both Cosmic and Mythic Legions. And but being that I know that I'll obviously be probably part of Legions Con going forward throughout the years. I mean, I'm guaranteed that I'll find the figures that I want later on down the line, either through trades, through our community, or at the Four Horsemen table, and I'll just have
yeah,
to kind of cherry pick through the line going forward. But, sometimes, like I said, we all have to, take a break from the constant, relentless spending on
yeah, yeah. I need to
figures
stop
like that.
myself, because if I follow myself, I start to buy everything that I love. It
Find
could be a
Pablo,
problem.
dude.
Yeah, also
We're gonna find you, Pablo. You watch.
because I pre-ordered also the Find Pablo is the hashtag for the
Oh my
show.
god, dude. That's so great, dude.
Yeah, some of my friends have heard that story a few times. So
Yeah. I can't believe you never shared that with us, Curtis. We have to find Pablo on Facebook and make a mockery of him, totally troll him and everything. Yeah. Yeah, that's
great.
classic. Oh man. There you go, Joe. My kids don't need to eat every day.
Yeah, they can have ramen noodles.
Yes, sir. Exactly. I
Put
know.
some
I had
ketchup
to eat
on it,
ramen
call it
for a
spaghetti.
while. Yeah, you could eat ramen too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't have kids because I'm too busy. I always, when I decide my life to be an artist, I decide to don't have kids, because I haven't the time to have kids, because I'm really also, when I'm only a musician, only music every day. When I become a writer, writing every day. And also as a musician, I travel to do concert at the time, tour, this stuff.
Right.
So you need to be a good father. You need to stay at home with your kids. No, so you also, like, that is another choices of life. No, when you
Yeah.
do a choice, you need to follow your choice. You can have kids and then forget the kids because you have to do a concert and be everywhere. No, as an artist, to me, have kids, it looks like could be a limitation, not to me, because
Yeah.
I need to stay focused on my heart, and also to do some choices about it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't really worry about it too much because, like I said, obviously from the time I've spent within the community and building solid, friendships and relationships and taking care of those who need help and offer my assistance, or figures, or customizing tips or whatever, just friendships in general. I know that there's a lot of people like myself that will not only take care of people, but will be taken care of by my peers in the time of need, when I'm looking for a particular figure or whatever, and won't have to go out there and pay the ridiculous, like, aftermarket prices that we've seen in this line in particular. So like I said, I don't worry about it too much. I know that I love to be, one of the first to actually get that pre-order, box in hand, and be able to. So the wait is what kills me most. I mean, but knowing that I'll have the figures at one point or another, that's a no-brainer for me. So I know that, and that's the thing too, from the past pre-orders that I had already paid for before I kind of put a cutoff on myself. I have tons of figures that I'll have that'll obviously be great for trade to offer to other collectors that might have future lines that I might, need figures from. So like I said, it works out. It works out either way. But it's, like I said, it's nice to sometimes, like I said, kind of, pedal it back a little bit and take a break from, like I said, the relentless spending, and kind of get caught up on things and get back to, your life as far as your family and stuff like that, and things that need to be kind of taken care of around the house or maintenance or whatnot. So it works both ways.
Yeah.
As a YouTuber, I'm also lucky that I start to get some free figures from some company, and because of that, it's cool also, no? Because it's like to your feed as a collection. You want this figure, so when you got something also from some company that support the channel, is cool, that also as well. But yes,
I see Blade Star says, Fortunately for me, my kids are grown and out of the house. Yeah, I'm like right there. I got like 3 or 4 more years, and I will I will have them out, and
Yeah.
that means more room for my toys.
That's right. That's right. I'm already making measurements in my kids' room. My
Yeah.
wife's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Don't worry about it, woman."
I walk in the kids' room sometime with the tape measure and just do
Yeah,
things,
you're
and they're
like,
like, "What are you doing?" I'm just
yeah,
preparing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all
I
right.
put about 5
What
shelves across
about
this
your
wall.
kids? What they think about your arts as a customizer, or they are collector too, or because, for example, in my real life, I'm surrounded by people that are not collector. But when I
Mhm,
show the video of my toy room that they did in the beginning of the year, I shared
mhm,
this video with my friends. That is an artist. They work in, I believe, in Finland now. Is a visual artist. No, they
mhm,
did a huge paint, like almost a Guinness. However, it was really impressive about my action figures, my castle that I still build. It was not only a dio. So was impressive because the people that are not collector, when saw especially Mythic Legions, they are surprised about the quality, however. And this is
mhm.
a good feedback to understand also that. If someone watch a figure and says, "Oh, it's just a toy," but say, "Whoa, wow, these many details." And when I show the skeleton to my brother, that is a skeleton lover, he blowing his mind that. So, oh, it's super cool, so detailed, so realistic. No? So,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
the reaction in this case about your kids, about your collection stuff, collector stuff, and customizer stuff? So, we start with
I,
Curtis and then with Eric.
yeah, I don't know if my kids are just blowing smoke, but they tell me that the kids at school think I'm the coolest dad. Like they show off the stuff on my Instagram and stuff like that, and they'll come home like, "Oh, Dad, I showed your stuff today, and man, the kid thinks you're the coolest and stuff." So they could be just trying to make me feel better, but that's what they tell me anyway. So they're pretty happy about it.
Eric?
Yeah, my kid, he's I ever since he was born, I mean, I've kind of involved him in like the kind of nerd community, and we have a big toy show that's like on a weekly basis out here in Southern California that I pretty much grew up in as a collector. So I kind of took him toy hunting with me and kind of showed him the I guess the path of the toy collector. And he's not much of a toy collector. He's more into kind of what the younger generation of kids are more into, like anime, manga, stuff like that. He's a big video game kid, so that's kind of his nerd niche, if you will,
Hmm.
is anything from newer gaming to old school like retro gaming, stuff like that. So he's
Hmm.
got his own cool nerd niche. He enjoys the stuff that I do, but he's definitely not an action figure kid. He doesn't. I think it's part of what we grew up with, where we were all more in the realm of, like I said, we grew up playing and handling figures in our hands. So we have that kind of like we need that feel of that plastic in our hand, which is part of our life that we've grown and known, that we've known all of our lives, that we love so much. And it's one of those things that you just can't get rid of. It's like an addiction to us, where we have to have that new plastic feel where we're bending and posing and doing things with. And now taking it to the next level, where we're using our paints and our sculpting techniques and our ideas to create all these new cool characters that, like I said, from worlds that we've never been in. So but for him, and like I said, to me, he enjoys coming in my room and seeing the new stuff that I'm working on, or seeing new figures that I get. But like I said, he goes back into his own little nerd cave, and like I said, it's all about the video gaming and the anime, and he plays like the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card games, stuff like that. Like I said, it's kind of what their generation geeks
Yeah.
out on. So, but yeah,
So let's move to the last two questions. Not two questions, last two topic, because no, it's just a conversation. But the first topic is that a figure that you missed pre-order for whatever reason, you didn't pre-order, and now you regret. No, what is your figure? I we start with you, and then I reveal my regret. So we start with Curtis.
Well, I mean, since I've gotten in the line, I've been all in on everything. So I've not ordered something and then regretted it later. So I guess, my biggest would just be like not getting in the line earlier, because I heard about the line, and the only thing I really knew was the Motu tributes. But I, made the mistake that most people do, where I went and looked up the prices on them on eBay, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting in for those prices. And I didn't realize the whole, pre-order process and going in from the studio and stuff. So I just wish I would have got in earlier. But since then, I've been all in on everything.
So no regrets for Curtis.
No.
Yeah, I share the same thing. I mean, with what I have in my collection from where I started, I mean, I started collecting the line in 2019, so that was, a couple years past their, Kickstarter, release of the figures. So I obviously missed a lot of figures that I mean, there was a few that I went back for and were able to acquire early on that I didn't have to pay, like, out of control prices for. So I actually got a few very, very key, old figures that are very hard to find nowadays for decent prices that I got early on. But going forward, yeah, I was pretty much all in on all of the waves afterwards. So I pretty much got everything. The only regret that I to this day have, but the only one is that I wished I would have ordered a lot more of the Red Shield Soldier. That's just one of the characters that I saw as a great body type that I would utilize for customs. And I mean, I probably went through 5 or 6 of them. I should have ordered like 25 of those things. It's just a great body, and it's only from a customizing perspective. It's not just the character itself, because I have the character, but I just, like I said, as a customizer, I just love the armored bodies, and that was one of the ones that I've never been able to attain enough of. So it's just, that's about it. But like I said, outside of that, I mean, I'm completely happy with what I've acquired so far, and like I said, in the future, there's no doubt that I'll acquire anything else that I need to get, or even without pre-ordering it. I know the system well enough of how the evolution of how the you know figures revolve throughout the cons, and where they're going to be at certain times, and really who's going to have them in hand, or where, if they're not available for me to get at a show, the people that I know within the community that I know will have plenty on hand. So I know the right pages to turn to get to where I need. So yeah.
Yeah, no, to me, but when I start, obviously I start to watch the for so Horsemen.com, and I pick all cards that I want, and then I realized that many of them, because everything new to me, no. So I got some figures from the retailer that I have in Germany that they were in stock, and then I start to find out where I can find the old ones. And I was crazy enough to buy some of them, like Jordan Rune Shaper, from eBay, for example. But then I become friends with Dennis Derby, and he helps me. I remember that Christmas 2021 was a super fun Christmas, because I got the box from Dennis with many old figures, including Urzog, including Armir Golden Tooth. So the only regret, I don't know if I can say regret, because it's a figure that's impossible to get single, no? Because when I pick the figures, the character from the line, I think about my storyline, how I create because there is only 2 factions in my project, no? And something doesn't match in my project. For example, I don't need demons, for example. I don't need some character that maybe is difficult to put in my story. For example, I was interested to Attila, no, in these 2 packs, no, Attila and Gorgo, but Gorgo is a beautiful figure, but it doesn't match in my project. So I regret to have an Attila, but at the same time, it was impossible to find only Attila single, no, because I don't need, it's beautiful, but I don't need Gorgo in the story that I want to build, because I don't put knights in the faction of the bad guys. Also, if it looks like a bad knights, evil knights, no? So because of my storyline, but when I saw last night on Legion's Lounge, the unboxings I saw, Attila, oh, it's beautiful, this golden armor, that shield. Come on, no.
It does look nice.
It is, yeah. It's going to be a beautiful figure, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
And I
can't wait
like
to get
also
mine in 2025.
I pre-ordered the golden armor elf that was a part of the retailer wave. No, that one.
Mhm.
That one
Yeah,
was
that's
another
nice.
that was really cool figure.
Yeah. That's
And
like
now,
I love seeing how many different, not only the factions, but how many different races there are that can cover so many people's, so many people's likes and dislikes. I mean, some people are dwarf guys, some people are skeleton guys, some people are knights, some people like the elves. The elves might not be for everybody. I mean, the elves are probably one of my least favorite
really,
races in the series. It could be somebody else's favorite. I mean, it's just to each his own. And but like I said, there's so many different types that it covers so many different people's likes. And I love that there's enough out there to give everybody a chance to grab on or to latch on to something that they love, that speaks to them as a
my
collector or a fan.
favorite race probably are dwarf, orcs, skeletons. But skeletons is not a race; it's a type of
Hmm.
Yeah.
undead. I like goblins, obviously. I like also knights. I like elves. Maybe my least favorite are demons,
Mhm.
and also I love vampires, obviously, and also beside the power con, obviously I told about that before. Also, I'm not too much for the anthropomorphic figures, so guys with the animals head like that. But,
Yeah, yeah.
by the way, sometimes you do an exception because I love Kratos. I have Kratos in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Depends. Also.
Absolutely.
I'm with Eric. Let's just get rid of the elves.
Someone did a request. So, guys,
Thank
we
you,
need to
Chris.
sing.
Thank
We
you.
need to sing. Come on, for Anthony. So it's not it's a more a cosmic show, but we talk about mythic. So I put also the lyrics so everybody can sing. Let's sing the Mythic Legion song. Come on.
Don't vote for Anthony.
Find your
Find your
legions
legions
when you
when you
got
got your
faction.
faction.
You
You
find
find
emotions
emotions
into a
in a
magic
magic
world.
world.
And now
You like that, Anthony?
only artists, you find your
Find your legions when you got your faction. You find emotions into a magic world.
and now is the turn of Eric. You find your
legions when you find your faction. You find emotions in a magic world.
so because you already show Duban, I won't share with you. Obviously, if you won't listen, a better because when I share like that, the quality of the audio is not the best. However, I won't share with you my latest. I shared that on the Kabbalah. I want to share with you my latest Mythic Legion stop motion with Duban.
Oh,
So
that's
you
Nice.
can
awesome.
tell me
Nice.
what do you think about. Obviously, the audio quality is
Bonus.
not like when you put when you listen from YouTube directly. But let's see.
Pablo must pay. Dude, the Pablo things are gonna be the best, dude.
If I don't wake up to a bunch of memes in the cabal,
Oh, dude, it's
trying to
on.
find Pablo.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
There
my
we go. I
god.
find it. Let's see.
Like I said, I can't believe you waited this long to share that Pablo story, dude. That's so great.
My dream was to have, for example, a Club Grayskull cartoon accurate Whiplash figure. That was a dream, and maybe will never happen because there's no longer the line.
Yeah.
I miss that line, the Club Grayskull that was sculpted, by the way, by the studio also. No?
Yeah, Super 7 was really just hitting their stride with that before Mattel took
Yeah.
He-Man back over.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, yes, the Moto Origin are good because you can find maybe figure that you haven't had in your collection before or you lost. But the Masterverse, yes, I did many toy news about Masterverse here, but I don't like Masterverse. However, let's see the stop motion. There is an intro. The intro is not a stop motion. It's the typical intro of everything that I done for Mythic. So it's the typical intro of my Mythic videos. So reviews, unboxing, everything. So let's see. Let's see.
That was pretty cool.
Nice.
More,
I like it.
more is coming for the series, however. So stay tuned.
I
like
it.
when the bird flew in. That was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. The bird was cool. I like that.
So the last topic is what is next for both of you. I start with myself. Is next another video about this project because something that I like of this community is everybody try to help each other. Is really welcoming, no? And so I decided to do this project of the castle that is also related with the stop motion because I need a castle for my story, but also because the project is to build a RPG game with the Mythic Legions, no, related with my chess game as well, but also to build just a castle is not only a diorama, also play set with some action feature. And so I decided to create this series of tutorials. So everybody that can watch the video can do the same things or maybe better than me. Also because it's the first time ever that I try to do something similar. Looks like I'm good, but it's a surprise also to me because when I finish something, like when I finish a novel, I just what happened? What I can do that? I don't know. I can do that. No. So, however, there is the project that continue. Will be some new review by Mythic, more reviews as usual, toy news every day, and next week, right here in the same time, in the same channel, will be the Darkler as a guest on my show to talk about Mythic Legions and to talk about also his channel and everything. So let's move for Curtis. I know that you have a show also, weekly show. What is the next episode?
Yeah, I actually got 2 weekly shows now. One is Shooting the Shelf with Jesse Arnold. It's on the Just Shelve It YouTube channel. So that's Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we've got Jonathan, which is a Hedgehog Toys, Action Toys. So that'll be a great interview tomorrow. And then on Fridays, we've got another YouTube channel called Let's Go Offworld, which is also me and Jesse Arnold, but then it has Matthew Dooch and Sean Scavarna in it. And we kind of talk about toys, movies, TV shows, kind of anything nerddom. So that's kind of a fun show too, where we just kind of hang out and chat. So both of those are on YouTube, and yeah, check us out.
Nice.
And Eric, what is your next project?
Right now, I'm currently working on some custom pieces that I'm going to be taking with me to the California Mythic Meetup that's going to be up in Sacramento, California, which is in Northern California. So I'm been working hard on getting some custom pieces together to have for sale up there. I'll be up there with Walter Hagen and Nate Barch from Four Horsemen Studios, along with a couple of other great people that'll be attending that that meetup with us. And yeah, we're going to be selling some mythics, selling some customs, and just having a great time all together with current Cabal fans and mythic collectors, as well as meeting new collectors and friends, and welcoming them to the community. So it should be a great time. Aside from that, myself and Jonathan Donath and Ryan Gonzalez do a Saturday live podcast where we just, have an open forum where we just talk toys, talk news, talk anything that comes to our mind as far as just being geeks and just having fun. And it's just a great, sometimes a 2 to 3 hour conversation and just about open to anything, that just things that we love, whether it be mythics or Marvel Legends or new movies that are coming out, or cons that we're attending, new friends that we've met in the community, whatever it might be. So it's just it's a great thing. So, and you can get that if you are part of the Facebook community. You can get that on the Dork Lair Collectors Group Facebook page, or you can go on to the Hedgehog Action Figures YouTube page and find it there as well. And that's Jonathan's YouTube page that he does his toy reviews on. And
Cool.
check his videos out as well. He has some great videos and reviews that he does that a lot of people seem to be enjoying. So yeah, he's we're doing some good work together, all of us. And like I said, I support everybody's artistic approach to everything. I know Ryan Gonzalez himself, he does some great photography that everybody seems to enjoy on the Cabal, and he shares a lot of his pictures. And like I said, there's just a multitude of talents in every respect from every person that's involved in these communities. So yeah, just like I said, just really getting ready for this big show that I'm going to go to up in a couple weeks. That'll be May 5th or May 6th and 7th up in Sacramento, California. So we'll definitely be posting plenty of photos, and like I said, obviously having a great time up there with a lot of great people. So
Awesome.
You guys had a really good show today with Trevor too, by the way. It was
oh
a lot
yes,
of fun. So if anybody didn't check that out, go hit the replay on YouTube.
yeah, that was an amazing time with Trevor. I mean, I know I said it on the show, but I'm so humbled and so thankful to, in this time of my life, as a collector, as a nerd, as a geek, to be in the company of people like Trevor, like Nate Barch, like the Four Horsemen Studios, like Jeremy Gerard, the artist community, yourself, Nikki Nicole Cheney, Von Burke Studios, Wolf King Customs. I mean, there's just the list is just endless of the people that I'm surrounded with, that I feel so blessed to be amongst, that, like I said, inspire me, and that I'm part of in this world that I know will leave a huge mark on the toy industry and the toy world that will never be erased. I mean, it's just, and like I said, and to know that I was in some way, even in the smallest way, part of that. I mean, I just love the fact that this is where I've come to as a toy person and an action figure lover, that I have never given up that love for it, and I do not regret it at all, to keep to what I've been, my heart's been part of. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's an awesome community. Also, I think the community reflect also the project, the figures as well, because there's a lot of art in this line, So the
Mhm.
creativity, but also the good vibes. It's a community of good vibes. I discovered that it's not easy find that in general. Also, because as a YouTuber, I cover many different toy line, so I share news also in different groups on Facebook, for example. And you don't find the same things, the same vibes in sometimes in other situation. No, so
Yeah,
it's something unique for that. And also you see the people really open to help each others. So I like that. It's a
yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
family, a
definitely.
beautiful worldwide family.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And it's cool to know. I mean, just like, I mean, from the two times that I've been to Legion's Con, I mean, the friendships that I've built from those two one-time meetings with people, I mean, has grown exponentially in the strength in these friendships that I've created throughout this community. And it's going to be cool also to go up to Sacramento and meet new people that I know through the community, through their posts, through their comments in the in the comment sections of our posts throughout the cabal, people like Joe Gonzalez that I cannot wait to meet. I mean, it's going to be an amazing time to, like I said, finally meet these people in person. And yeah, no Pablos in this community, absolutely. So yeah, it's going to be really cool to meet someone like Joe, and like I said, get some FaceTime with him, and like I said, just have a great time and in their own element, in their own communities, in their own cities. So it's going to be really cool. So I hope we can do a lot more of this on the West Coast where we are, in like California and the West Coast cities, because I know a lot of the stuff, the shows and stuff, are more based in the East Coast where we can't necessarily make it to. So it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, and now I go to the piano for the outro of the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit notification bell, and go immediately to pre-order the Cosmic Legion Outpost Zaxxius Wave. Don't miss this opportunity. So thank you to Eric and thank you to Curtis to join the show with me tonight, and to share your thoughts about the figures, about this passion to collecting toys and customize. So thank you guys to enjoy the show. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Eric, and see you for about the show. See you next week with the Dorkler in the show, in the Mr. Alan Super Show next week, to talk about Cosmic Legions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Blaze Star. Thank you, John. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Rick Jones. Thank you, Billy. Thank you to all of you guys. And see you next week about the show.
Thanks,
but
guys.
stay tuned, because also will be more, not only the show next week, but every day something new on the channel. Bye-bye, guys. Good
See
night,
everybody.
all of you.